We finally got another Pat McGrath Mothership palette after 2 long years. And it's Mothership XII Petalmorphosis. And in those 2 years, she was coming out with collabs like from Bridgerton, or the most recent one from Candy Crush, which is, I don't know. But I think most of us were excited when another Mothership palette was revealed. Of course, we were wondering if this palette will have the special shades, the Blissed Astral shades. And I could tell looking from the promo pictures that you can kind of tell it wasn't the baked special formula. So there are no baked shades in this palette. There are the Blissed Astral shades, but they're not the baked shades that we've all know and love from the Mothership palette. But I was still curious about this one anyway, so I went ahead and got it. It does cost $128, so it's very pricey, very expensive. But first, let me show you the packaging that it comes in before I take it out. This is the typical Mothership palette packaging, and I kind of like it. It's very colorful, and I love the colors in here. All right, so let's go ahead and take this out. And then here is the packaging. I have to say it's very luxurious, very weighted, very strong. With the Mothership 12, she does have it in the usual black lacquer, but she also has a limited edition lavender shade. Now, I didn't pick that one up. I know everyone really wanted that, but I don't know, when you open it up and see the shades against the lavender, it just wasn't very pleasing to the eye. To my eye, at least. And as you can tell, I went ahead and got the black lacquer. And let me take this plastic off. Very satisfying. Now we have a clean palette here, so I can show you. It's not going to last long, though. And here is the back with a gold mirror, and you can see that that one's already dirty. And I like it now because before, if you didn't have the package, you couldn't tell which palette this was until you opened it. But now she has a sticker in the back where it tells us which palette this is. I did throw away the packages when I first started using Pat McGrath shadows. I have 3 without the packaging, so those I don't know what it is until I open it up. But it's just, you know, the little things that you just want to mention here. But yeah, it does say which palette it is in the back. And then you open it up, it has that beveled mirror. And here are the shades in Mothership 12. So you can see that against the black background, I think the shades look a little bit better than against the purple background. It would have been nice if she made the outside lavender and then the inside black. I think she did that with the special edition Divine Rose, which I do have, and I'll look at that. But yeah, I just think it looks a lot better in the black background. And usually on this side is where she'll have the special shades, the bake shades. But you can see that it's just a regular metallic shades in here. And it does have the rosy tones in here, some greens, a bronze shade, a beautiful purple lilac shade, and then we have a deep matte green shade. Now in the first 3 palettes, she had the extreme black shades, and I think by that time we were like, okay, give us a different shade than black, because we can always use the black shade from a previous palette. And then she came out with the deep browns, and then the deep purples, the aubergine shades, and now we have a deep green shade. Before we get into the swatches, I want to give you some information about what she says about this palette. This 10-shade palette transforms eye artistry into blooming masterpieces with lush greens, lilac hues, and radiant neutrals. It features 4 luxurious finishes: creamy mattes, dazzling astrals, and jewel tone metallics that blend and layer seamlessly. So let me bring you in closer and we'll start swatching. So we have 10 shades in here, and we have 2 true mattes, and I guess we can use this one as a matte. There are some gold specks in here, which we'll see when we swatch it. And then we have 3 astral shades and 2 bliss shades in this palette. It's usually 4, but this time we have 5. Maybe throwing 5 in here will make us forget about these not being the bake shades. I don't know. Just speculating here. That's just my opinion. But let's start with this one, Divine Dawn, and this one's kind of creamy, and it's a warm golden beige luminizer. Oh, that swatch very pretty. And I do see some pink in here. I don't see beige that much. I see mostly kind of like a pink in here. Just going to continue in the top row, and this is one of the creamy mattes, and it is creamy. And this one is Twilight Lilac. And I have to tell you, the names are very tongue twisty for me. But this is a soft lilac plum matte. I mean, that swatched very pretty, and I like this shade. Next, we have Cosmic Fantasies, which is a burgundy metallic. That's very pretty too, and it does have some gold specks in here. I hope you can see that. And these 2 shades would look beautiful together. Now let's go into this astral shade, and it's Astral Eden Envy. It's a chartreuse astral with gold pearls. Now let's go into this astral shade, which is Astral Sunset Splendor. And as I'm feeling it, it doesn't feel like the original Bake shades. It does feel a bit smoother. So again, this is Astral Sunset Splendor, which is a soft iridescent coral astral. Now let's go into this green shade, Nocturnal Bloom, which is a rich hunter green matte. Now it does swatch a little patchy here, but that's just from the bottom of it. And this is a pretty rich hunter green. Now let's go into this one, which is Astral Iridescent Iris. And I have to say, this is my favorite shade in the palette. And that's an iridescent lavender astral. Now you can see that there's some blue specks in here, some white gold, and kind of like a pink corally shade almost. For Lunar Nectar, let me bring it in closer and hopefully you can kind of see that there's some gold glitter particles in there, and it's a coral rose matte with gold pearl in there. I'm just looking at it in the mirror so I can see a little bit better, but there are some gold specks in there, and I hope this camera brings it out. Let's swatch this one, which is Blitz Radiant Rhapsody. These names are just kind of tongue twister for me. Now this one does feel a little gritty, but it's very pretty and shiny. It's a metallic turquoise with blue and green pearls. And then the last one here, Blitz Bronze Supernova. This one also has a little bit of a grittiness to it. Very pretty, it's what I have in my eyes now. And it's a platinum bronze with silver pearl. And then here are the swatches of the Mothership XII Petalmorphosis. I have to say it's pretty shades, but it doesn't have the special shades in here. So I ended up doing 3 looks with this palette, so let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll see you on the other side. Prime my lids with the Hourglass eyeshadow primer. Let's go into this shade first, Lunar Nectar. It does have some glimmer particles in there, but we'll see how this works as a matte shade. Because I'm sure that you can buff that out. I still see the glitter particles in there, but it's not in the shadow. Kind of on my lid too, so it does kind of buffs away into other places besides where you want it. Using a smaller brush, this is by BK Beauty 112, and let's go into this green matte shade, which is Nocturnal Bloom. And let's place you in the outer corner. Okay, that's not bad. But that green shade is pretty, it's not blotchy or anything, it did blend out nice. Now let's try this shade. I'm gonna use my finger, and the name of this one is Blitz Radiant Rhapsody. And that's pretty, and let me just place you in the center. Let me just kind of push in. Bring that out as well. And there's still some left on my finger, and there is some fallout, but that is a pretty shade. Now I'm using a flat shader brush and going into this shade, which is the Astral Eden Envy. And let's see how you would look in the inner corner. To be honest, I don't think I like those 2 shades together. It just kind of looks a little deep for that, and maybe a little dirty. So let me use the other side and go into this shade, which is Divine Dawn. And let's put you on top, see if that will brighten up the look. And clean it up a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks better. For this side, let's go into this shade, Twilight Lilac. Let me just build it up in the outer corner here. Actually, let me go ahead and place that shade all over my lids here. I want this to be the base. Using my finger, I'm going to go into this shade Cosmic Fantasies and just place you in the outer corner. If I place this shade all over my lids, I think that'd be a good, kind of like an everyday look, a monochromatic look, if you will. But I want to use another shade in the inner corner. I want to use this shade, the Astral Iridescent Iris, and just kind of put you in the center towards the inner. All right, a lot of fallout, plus with my finger as well. That's pretty together. And then just going in with a flat shader brush, just so I can bring it up to the top there in my crease. A lot of fallout here, so let me clean up and we'll come back and do underneath. For this side, let's go into that green shade Nocturnal Bloom and just place you in the outer corner. And just whatever is left over, just kind of bring it in. And then on this side, let's go into Twilight Lilac and pretty much do the same thing. Let's just go into Divine Dawn. Place that in the inner corner on both sides. Let's do that. Let me finish and I'll be right back. And here are the finished looks, and what do you think? have to say the shades are pretty, but I prefer this side. I really like how those two shades work together on the lid. These two shades, I think it looks very pretty. This shade, Astral Iridescent Iris, I think that's very pretty. And yeah, I really like how I combined it with Cosmic Fantasies. I think that's very pretty. And the matte shade, this shade Twilight Lilac, I also use this one as a blush. And I put it on both sides and it's not bad. Some of her matte shades we can use as blushes. And when I swatched that one, I thought, yeah, I want to try that one as a blush. And that's very pretty. This side is very pretty, but it's not something that I would wear every day. It has to be for a special occasion because that turquoise blue is out there. And I do like pairing it with this shade Divine Dawn in the inner corner. Instead of this Astral Eden Envy, I think it just kind of brightened up the look. You can still see a little bit of that shade just right there, but I like the lighter version of Divine Dawn a lot better. And this matte shade Lunar Nectar, it works as a matte, but those particles in there will still be there. They're just kind of moving around. Other than that, I think these are very pretty looks, but I prefer this side a little bit better than this side. I hope you can see how it kind of shifts in there. There are many different colors I can see. I can see like blue particles in there, some pink, maybe some, I don't know, maybe white gold. But yeah, I really do like that Bliss shade or the Astral shade. And this one's not bad either, the Bliss Rhapsody or Radiant Rhapsody. This one also has different color particles in there too. I can see some yellow in there, maybe some white gold, some blue, but yeah, very pretty. And there is some fallout here. I'm seeing some on my cheeks, just on this side though, not on this side. So I'm gonna do one more look and let's go ahead and get into that one. I have some place to go today, so I won't make this, very dramatic. At least I'll try not to. But let's start out with Twilight Lilac. I like this shade, especially for a blush. And I did use the Hourglass eyeshadow primer first. I don't know if I want to use Nocturnal Bloom for the outer corner because I want to use this bronze shade on my lid. But you know what? Let's go ahead and try it. Maybe green and bronze will look good together, but I won't go too crazy with it. All right, that wasn't bad. Let me just blend the first shade out. Okay, it's not muddying with each other, those two shades. Let's go into this bronze shade, and it's Blitz Bronze Supernova. And let's place you on the lids. I think we have many shades like this bronze shade. And just using a small flat shader brush just to kind of get it into the crease there. I know I'm trying to keep this look simple, but let's use this shade because I haven't used it yet. And it's the Astral Sunset Splendor. And I'm just using that same flat shader brush and placing that in the outer or inner corner. Actually, that looks good together. Kind of brightened up this look. I think the Sunset Splendor will look pretty all over the lid. All right, there is some fallout with those shades. Yeah, so let me go ahead and clean up and we'll do underneath my eyes. Let's go back into Twilight Lilac and let's go underneath the eyes here. And very lightly go into Nocturnal Bloom. And you know the drill, just in the outer corner. I'm also going to use this eye pencil by Victoria Beckham in the shade Cocoa and kind of line the lower lash line. And this pencil by Victoria Beckham in the shade Bronze, I'm going to line my waterline with it. I'm going to use this shade again as a blush, Twilight Lilac, but first I need to bronze my face here, and I'll be using this one by YSL in the shade number 03. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to use this shade as a blush, Lunar Nectar. Now, I don't know how this will work as a blush because it does have those gold particles in there. It's not bad. You pretty much have two blush shades in this palette. Oh wow, that's very pigmented. You need to go very light with it. I think I put too much on this side, but at least you can see what that shade would look like as a blush. And I do see those gold specks in there. It just looks like you have fallout from the eyeshadow, but they do kind of move around as I'm kind of blending out. But this shade isn't bad to use as a blush as well. Probably should have used this one, Twilight Lilac, to kind of make it go with my transition. But I wanted to use this one as a blush as well, just to see what it looked like. And that way you can see it too. All right, let me finish up and I'll be right back. And here's the finished look, and what do you think? I do like this look. I like a bronzy look. And I kind of like using that shade, Lunar Nectar. You don't know how many times I had to say that. That just does not flow from my mouth very easy. But this shade, Lunar Nectar, as a blush, even though it has those gold pearls in there, the shade is very pretty. It's very pigmented. But I can see some of the gold pearls here. It looks like, you know, eyeshadow fallout on my cheeks. So I don't know if I'll reach for this one as a blush. I'll probably reach for this one a lot more, which is Twilight Lilac. Another one that just doesn't flow with the tongue here. And let me show you, it does come with the card to tell you the names in the box here. Before I get into what I think about this palette, let me show you some comparisons. Now I do have 10 Mothership palettes. Well, now I have 10. Mothership 12 will be my 10th palette. I did not get Mothership 10 or 11. And I'll put pictures of those here. We have Mothership 10, which is Moonlight Seduction, and Mothership 11, Sunlight Seduction. When I saw those, it did look like it had repetitive shades, so I didn't pick those up. But I do have 10 now. And let's start with Mothership 1, which is Subliminal. And this is more of a cool tone palette. It does have that blue. And then let me put it up against it. So I don't see anything here that's similar. But let me just show you the bake shades here, the special shades. You can kind of see how it is in the pan. It has that baked look to it. Compared to here, it just looks like regular metallic shades. Then we have Mothership 2 Sublime with the green shade in here. And let's put it up against this one. I mean, we can swatch the green shade, but yeah, this one's like a true green. This one has some blue to it. Now, it does have a bronze shade in here. This one's a little bit lighter, as you can see. Let's try this shade, Skin Show Glow, and let's put it next to this one. Yeah, this one looks a little bit more powdery. It's not as metallic as Divine Dawn. And then we have Mothership 3, which is Subversive, next to Mothership 12. Let's try Gigabyte. Now, this one may be a little bit more gold than the Astral Eden Envy, so let's see. Yeah. It's not the same. It has a little bit more gold to it. This one does have more green. Let me try Night Creature. And let's put you next to Cosmic Fantasies. All right, yeah, this one's a little bit more purpley. This one has some burgundy in it. Kind of matches the matte shade though. And the first 3 palettes, they do have Extreme Black, so it's pretty much the same shade in the first 3 palettes. So it's nice that she's changing it up there. Now, she doesn't sell this one anymore, and I do have it in the special packaging, the Star Wars packaging. This is number 4, Decadence, and this one does not have any matte shades in here. And you can see what I mean. The outside is gold, but the inside is black. So I kind of wish she did that with the lavender palette, because then I would have gotten the lavender palette. I just like how the shades look in the black. And let's see, I don't see anything similar in here. Now this one's Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction, and I think this is one of the popular ones because when you look at it, I mean, that's very pretty. Try not to get the glare here. Let me put it up against Mothership 12. Let's go into this bronze shade, Guilty Pleasure. Yeah, this one's not as bright as this one, but let's try this one, which is Bronze Blaze. Yeah, this one has some blaze to it. And then the matte shade here in the corner, she went away from the Extreme Black, and this is Extreme Aubergine. And again, with the bake shades, you can kind of see how it looks in the pan. Here's Mothership 6, and let's try this Blitz shade, Blitz Violet Orchid. And let's put you here. Very pretty. Has more meat to it. And let's try Blood Moon 005. And let's see how you'll look with Sunset Splendor. Yeah, different. This one has a little bit more orange to it. And then the very popular Divine Rose, and I do have it in the special packaging. And again, it does have the black background here, so it makes the shades look a little bit better. And you can see the bake shades in here. Let's try VR Rose Venus. Okay, I don't see any similarities there. And let's go into Sable Bronze. Okay, not the same, but that one is a pretty bronze shade. The Bronze Supernova has a little bit more brown to it. This is Divine Rose 2 with the special packaging, also has the black background. And let's see, do we see any similarities there? Let's try Eleganza. You here. Another beautiful shade, but not the same. And I think this one was the first kind of a trichrome. I have a hard time saying this, sexterrestrial. We're hoping you can kind of see there's that shift, pink and gold. Let's just kind of put you here. Or kind of pink and green. Let me try this matte shade, Naked Blush, which I also like to use as a blush. Let me put you here. Okay, almost the same, but not quite. I think this one has a little bit more coral to it. And then the last one I have is Utopian Dream. And let's put these two together. Let's try this one, Bronze Desire. Yeah, she has a lot of bronze shades, that's for sure. And let's put you here. It's a little bit more coppery. Let's try this matte shade, Secret Eden. And let's put you here. All right, maybe I should have put that one there. Let's try next to Lunar Nectar. All right, this one does have a little bit more pink to it, but it's pretty close. All right, that's pretty close. And then let's try this one, the Astral, oh gosh, what's the name of this one? The Astral Amethyst Moon. Kind of similar to Iridescent Lilac, but it has a little bit more shift to it, more of the blue shift to it. For the last comparison, I brought this quad out. It's Voyeuristic Vixen, and I wanted to show you this bronze shade. The name of it is Twilight Bronze, and let's try this one from the new palette. Okay, I thought they'd be the same, but they're not. We just saw recently in the news that Pat McGrath is a new creative director for Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton is coming out with a new makeup line, and I can't wait to see it because Louis Vuitton is my bag of choice. I am kind of a bag snob. I don't use any other bags besides Louis Vuitton, except for some little clutches for evenings. Those are just, you know, basic ones. But for my everyday bag, it's always Louis Vuitton, and I cannot wait to see what kind of makeup they come out with. So I don't know if she's going to use, I don't think she can use her special shades for Louis Vuitton. I don't think so, because that's Pat McGrath. So I hope something special comes out with the new makeup line, especially with Pat McGrath behind it. What I think about this palette, I have to say it is very pretty, but it doesn't have the special shades in here that is what's known for Pat McGrath. We probably have similar shades in here from, say, indie brands like Sydney Grace or Nomad Cosmetics or Odin's Eye even. But is this worth $128? Probably not. I would wait for a sale if you really want this palette, if you really want the shades in here, especially with the greens and this purple. But yeah, I would definitely wait for a sale with this palette. It is pretty, I do like it, and I will use it because I do like that green. It's not very blotchy. I do like the iris shade, I do like the bronze shade. The Bliss Radiant Rhapsody, it is a very pretty shade, but it's not one that I would reach for. These two shades are very pretty together, love that look, and I do like the bronze look as well. And having a matte forest green, you know, it's not bad. It is different than with the blacks and the browns and the purples. I could see, you know, putting a green, doing something different, and it does blend out well. It's not blotchy, and you know, it's not bad. I do wish that there was maybe a little bit more of a neutral brown shade instead of two kind of pink shades, but these are pretty as blushes, and I especially like this one, Twilight Lilac. I can never say these, I don't know. Tongue twisters for me. So yeah, I will use this palette, but again, if you really want this palette, wait for a sale. If not, it could be an easy pass and we can wait and see what Louis Vuitton comes out with. That one I can't wait. I believe it's coming out in the fall. Well, all right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video of me trying the new long-awaited Mothership XII Petalmorphosis. And if you liked and enjoyed this palette, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this, and you will have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.